There's about 17 different states that are starting to step up and using the money that was sent to them by the federal government. Plus, there is this infrastructure bill. Looks like it's been passed in the Senate. This is going to put a lot of more money into a lot of different areas out there that people could definitely benefit from. And there also is this new stimulus, or the recurring stimulus check, going out this week. Plus, this fourth stimulus check looks like it'll probably be in the next bill that they pass, the American Families Plan. So what I want to do is cover a lot of the details, the news about the stimulus checks. When are people going to be getting the new stimulus checks, and update everybody on possibly, when they can get them, when will the new checks coming up. I'll talk about what I think is going to happen in the future as far as how people are going to be getting paid a lot quicker using their smartphones. So I want to go over that and cover a lot of those details for you in this video. So the fourth stimulus check looks like it's going to be coming out from a lot of different states. Like I said before, I've always said that California was going to lead the way in getting more money. The American Rescue Plan, the federal government sent out states about, billions and billions of dollars each state received. Now, each state received a little more than the other based on the population, but most of the states all got money, and they're going to turn around and pay out their citizens for that. Now, California is doing it a little bit different. They're actually sending out stimulus checks to about 2/3 of their citizens. There's going to be a $600 payment going out, plus another $500 for dependents. I don't think you have to have a Social Security number in California. I think you can have a INTI number, which is a tax identification number. So if you're not a resident, or if you're not in the United States, you can't actually pick up one of these stimulus checks. And that would be in California. Colorado is sending out $375 in hazard pay. A lot of these are going to be going to teachers, maybe frontline workers. Maryland, $500 for families and $300 for individuals who filed an earned income tax credit on their filings in Maryland. And then you have New Mexico. They're about to send out $5 million to be distributed in Mexico. I know New Mexico received about $1.8 billion. So I think $5 million is not really a stretch for them. They need to probably be sending out more. Now, Florida looks like they're getting really aggressive with this. They're going to be sending out $1,000 checks to teachers and administrators. And I just heard today that they're going to be sending out $1,000 checks to police officers, firefighters, frontline workers. These are going to be bonus checks that everybody's going to be receiving here. I believe that's going to be going out next month in Florida. Georgia, they have stepped up and sent out $1,000 checks to full-time teachers and administrators, and then part-time teachers, $500. Michigan looks like $500 hazard pay bonuses to frontline workers out there. Tennessee looks like they're going to be sending out $1,000 checks labeled as hazard pay and bonus pay to those that are been working on, in the front lines there in Tennessee. And then you have Texas. Texas statewide is not really set up something, but it looks like a lot of individual cities in Texas will be sending out stimulus payments. You got Fort Worth and Arlington as an example. It looks like Denton and Mansfield teachers will receive a raise and receive payments and bonuses. That's good news for a lot of the other states, I believe, because the other governors are going to have to come forth and do something for their citizens in order to get stimulus checks out to people. Again, the federal government sent them out, each state, tons and tons of money. So then hopefully they'll turn around and pay out their citizens in those states. But California is stepping up and doing it. If you live in California, you'll be getting a real stimulus check. The other states, they're starting off with just teachers right now, frontline workers, and then hopefully they'll go into citizens and in that area, people that live in those states, and get a stimulus check out to those. So coming up this week, looks like the next installment of the child tax credit. This is a monthly reoccurring payment for those that do have children. If you have children between the age or under the age of 6, you'll be receiving a $300 check. That's per child too. So if you have 3 or 4 children under the age of 6, that'd be crazy, but you'd be getting a $300 check for that. There is also a $250 check monthly coming out to those that have children between the age of 6 and 17. So if you did file your 2020 filings and you added dependents onto your filings, you're going to be getting a check. You'll be getting a stimulus check of $1,400 for all those dependents. Plus, you'll be getting that child tax credit. If you do have children, I would suggest that you do sign up for this. The federal government's giving out this, these grants, so you might as well pick them up and go for it. If you did $75,000 or less for singles and you do have children, then you would obviously be picking that up. $112,500 less as heads of households, and then $150,000 as joint couples. Anything less than those numbers, then you're automatically going to be getting a check sent out to you. So again, it's 6 years and under are going to receive $300. That's per child, and then $250 for children between the age of 6 and 17. And the only way you can do that is you have to file your returns. If you've never filed returns and you do have children, you want to go to the Treasury's website. There is a free non-filers tool that you can go on there. You can file it, and you can actually pick up all of these child tax credit by just filing that return with the Treasury. So this giant $1 trillion infrastructure package looks like it's going to pass the Senate, which usually a lot of these bills do get, they basically fall in the Senate because they just can't get enough votes. But out of the 100 people in the Senate, 69 out of 30 voted in favor of the bill. You only need 60 votes in the Senate in order to get a bill passed, so it looks like they had enough cushion on this. This is a giant infrastructure bill. I do believe that if you're in one of the areas, or if you're thinking about getting in one of the areas that they're spending a lot of money in, now would be a good time to do that, because if they're going to start putting billions of dollars into bridges and waterways and then improve internet access, those are the fields that you want to be into, because that's where the money is going to be flowing in big time from the federal government. Also, they're going to be working on this $3.5 trillion budget plan. This is where they're going to have to work on climate change and all of this other stuff, military and things like that. I think they're going to have to, next is going to be the American Families Plan. This is where they're going to try to get more stimulus out to everybody. They're going to try to get the unemployment benefits extended, plus they're going to try to get the child tax credit moved out. The unemployment benefits looks like it's going to be coming up in September. They might kick that down a little bit, try to maybe extend that out through the end of this year. I know the moratoriums for evictions, so if you're renting and you weren't paying, that they can't kick you out until October the 1st. I believe they've bumped that back another couple of months. So that's something that if you are renting and you thought the moratorium has ended, they actually moved that back. And I think that's what they're going to have to do with the unemployment. They're going to have to extend the unemployment out through the end of this year.
Now, I understand that Senator McConnell, the Republican leader, and others are really shocked by this bill. They cannot believe it. Imagine, just imagine, that the United States Senate is addressing the needs of working families and is going to stand up for ordinary Americans rather than just the wealthy and powerful. What is this world coming to? Don't we understand that here in the Senate, we're supposed to take campaign contributions from the drug companies and the insurance companies and the fossil fuel industry and from the 1% and do their bidding? Isn't that the way it has always been done here in the U.S. Senate? Well, Senator McConnell, things are changing. For once in a very long time, the United States Congress is going to stand with working families and not just the rich and the powerful.
I want to especially thank the chair of the Budget Committee, Senator Sanders. He kept his nose to the grindstone and led our caucus on the budget. He always kept the thoughts and needs of American workers and families at the top of his mind. As a result, the Democratic budget will be the most significant legislation for American families since the era of the New Deal and the Great Society. It is big, bold change, the kind of change America thirsts for.
So there is really this big push for these the fourth stimulus check. Right now, there is this giant petition, 7.6 million signatures on this petition. If it reaches 3 million, it would be the largest on the change.org website. There's calling for $2,000 payments for adults and $1,000 payment for kids. This is something that somebody had put together, and it looks like it's picking up a lot of momentum right now. You can actually go to change.org and look for that $2,000 payment petition, and you can look and see the one that's close to 2.8 million signatures. It says, moving forward, Congress needs to make reoccurring checks automatic if certain triggers are met. No more waiting around for our governments to send the help we need. I personally think that it's tough. It's tough right now because they have to go through Congress. They have to go back and forth, try to get these bills passed. I think the Federal Reserve is going to bypass Congress, and they're going to bypass banks. They're going to put an app right into your phone. It's going to be called a FedNow coin. The only reason I say that is because I've been listening to Jerome Powell, who is head of the Federal Reserve, and he's talking about getting a Fed coin now into your app. You can take that, go spend it into the Apple Pay or Apple Store. You can go to store, scan your phone in. That's kind of where the future is going. Everything's going digital, and they're going to try to drop that money into your account. It would be some type of stable coin. Now, there is a lot of pressure from a lot of the other stable coins out there, but I think the FedNow coin will be the easy way to get payments out to everybody. And that's why these petitions, I feel like, are very important, because they allow you, puts a lot of pressure on Congress, puts a lot of pressure on Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to get them to set up a new plan and a new bill in order to get more stimulus out to everybody. So one of the things I was getting a lot of messages for is if you haven't been able to receive your check, there is a couple things you can do. First thing you can do is go to the Get My Payment tool. It's an IRS website. It's a portal. You can go in there and you can see the status of your payment. Actually, there is a phone number you can call. I didn't believe that this would actually be out there, but 1-800-919-9835 is a phone number you can call. You got to go through the automated process. But once you do, you'll be greeted with a live person. You'll be able to pick up some information on what you need to do as far as getting your payment sent out. It's